Mourya, congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
For getting 100th rank in the civil services.
Thank you, sir.
So, I would like to know your journey with public administration.
It started in 2013, sir, I would
Okay.
say. Before that, I've taken classes from you here in Hyderabad.
Okay.
In 2013, I've gone to Delhi. Then I started giving attempts as well. I didn't score well in the initial attempts, sir. In 2014, I've given my main exam.
Right.
And 2015 as well. In 2014, I scored only 185.
Okay.
And 15, I scored only 187 marks.
Okay.
Then 16 I didn't clear prelims. So in that year I have come back. I started preparing in Hyderabad only. Then again I have come to your classes.
Okay.
I feel that helped me score well in public administration. I have scored 295 marks in PubAd this year.
Okay. So see, I personally feel that PubAd is not only for your civil services. So what is your opinion as public administration student? What do you think about the scope of the subject?
You are absolutely right, sir. It's not restricted to administration or subject itself. Even in the life, even in our life also we can apply it. When I've chosen the subject, I didn't know all these things. But last year when I was preparing 2016, when I have understood concepts clearly, like you were saying even in the class, you have to understand concepts, then you can apply, even in the exam or in your life. So it helped me in my preparation as well, sir. Organizing my own preparation or priorities, my books, everything it helped me.
See, generally there is an opinion that, some optionals are good for the civil services and some are bad for the civil services. Do you agree with that view?
Not completely, sir. It is true that few years some options might work, few years the treatment might not be the same, but if we work well, definitely we can score.
So that means, you can simply say that, there is no favorite optional for the civil service, UPSC.
No.
There's nothing like, this optional is the favorite optional, therefore everybody should go for that.
No.
There's no such thing.
No.
Any optional can work well.
Yes.
Only thing is how you have to prepare for that. Did you find any difficulties in preparing for the civil services or the questions in the civil services?
Initially, I faced, even in 2015 when I appeared interview, my personality test, even then I scored only 77 in my paper one, optional one. This year I scored 139.
Now, what could be the reason that you felt that you scored only 77, you said? So, what could be the reason?
Firstly, I didn't understand the concept well, sir.
Okay.
Be it thinkers, Taylorism or Fayol. I didn't understand, I didn't link. It's completely public administration paper 1 and paper 2 are related. We have to link that and we have to understand the essence of the subject.
Right.
That I have understood in 2017 when I have come to your classes.
Generally, I feel that, people believe that a subject is only in the books. Right. Suppose you are studying geography or you are studying anthropology. You don't get an opportunity to test the principles in anthropology or test the principles in geography. Whereas my perception is that with public administration you can test.
Yes.
Say for example, we say smile makes a happy day or something like that. Don't you think that this would be the way in public administration? You can test whether your human relations theory is applicable or not.
Definitely, sir. Even motivation theory is what I've studied. I have applied during my preparation only.
Okay.
Like how to motivate myself, path goal theory, how to set goals. All these things I have applied.
So, public administration basically the subject is a life subject rather than it's a bookish subject. Is it not?
Yes.
Then along with that, there is also perception, some of the students feel that, the questions are very typical. It is not easy to understand the questions because you can't write an answer. So how far do you think it's true?
It is true till 2016, sir. Paper 1 especially. The questions have, they have been little complicated in the sense to understand. But like you used to say, if we understand the question by parts, taking by parts and understand the question, essence of the question, we can address the demand.
So first you have to do is analyze the question, see what are the components that are there, and then with the material or information that you have to cook up an answer then and there and present it, rather than go prepared with a particular answer and throw it there, vomit it there onto the paper.
That you will get, that experience with experience, with practice, you will get how to address the question.
Right. So that's one thing. Then what about writing answers? Are they really difficult that you have to write answers? Or do you need a practice? There is an opinion that you'll have to write the answer again and again so that you can perfect it. Is that the way that you'll have to go about it?
Initially, it was difficult for me too, because as I said, I didn't understand the subject well. Once I understood the subject, and once I got the technique from you, like dividing the question and understanding its essence, it has become easy to answer it.
So it's not necessary that you should by heart an answer or anything like that and then represent it.
Absolutely not, sir. That is what I have done in 2014 and 15. I didn't score well.
Okay. So now the question is public administration optional, where your application of the knowledge is more important rather than what you have imbibed by heart.
Yes,
What about the writing practice? In sense, how you should go about from your point of view. So we, as a teacher, we might say this is what we'll have to do. And first, your point of view, did that help? That's one thing. Second thing is, what are the refinements that you did for your own preparation? See, a teacher cannot tell you the exact way. Teacher can only tell you a broad idea of how to go about writing an answer. But it means that you will have to tailor make it for your requirements.
Yes.
So how did you go about that?
If you remember, sir, last year I used to come to you every week and show answers. Even the classes I used to show daily.
Yes.
That helped me. Whenever you have given me inputs saying you can write conclusion like this or you can improve your introduction, that helped me think and analyze well and improve myself even at home.
Right. One more thing is that there is an opinion that when you are giving an answer, you should write introduction, then you should write body, then you should write conclusion. Is it necessary? Did you do that? That I'll have to write an answer. This is the introduction. This is what it is. This is the conclusion. Did you have to give a subheadings and write an answer like that?
It depends on the question to question, sir.
Okay.
I followed that pattern in few questions. In few questions, I have written even in points as well.
Okay.
So it depends from question
to question. There cannot be a fixed answer saying that every time you have to give an introduction, then the issue and all, right? One more thing I would like to know is, see, whenever there is a typical question, would you directly go to the heart of the matter or beat around the bush? They give a lot of introduction and then write.
You have to address the demand only, sir. Otherwise, will not be awarded marks. Like my marks, I've got only 70 and 80 in paper one before. Now, in the last 1 year, when you have said me, I have changed my approach towards addressing the question. I have understood the essence and I've main points I've given, whatever I could remember in that time.
Yeah.
So that is what I have done.
Okay. Now, when you say writing practice, is it that do you need to write every day or once in a while, or just a test series? Sometime you take a test series once in a week or 10 days. Is it enough?
It depends on person to person also. So for me, I felt if you write every day, it will definitely benefit you. You can improve a lot. I used to write in the last 2 months before my main exam.
Let me tell you, ask me one more thing. How many questions do you think you should write?
As many questions as possible.
As many questions as possible. There's nothing like 10 or 15 or nothing like that. As many as possible.
Taking previous year's question paper and writing as many questions as we can.
One more thing what I would like to do is, you have taken some test series also. You have gone outside and other places also. Do you think that the questions that have been given by the various institutions have been comparable with that of the UPSC questions?
No,
so what's the difference?
They can only expect the current matters. They can only give the question similar to UPSC, but they cannot reach to UPSC level. If you see, it changes year by year what UPSC gives. So 1 year UPSC gives tough questions, the next year it gives easy questions. So we cannot predict it. We have to be prepared for everything.
No, what I mean to say is that the nature of the question. Say for example, you find UPSC questions are a bit ticklish. The question may be small, but finding an answer would be a difficult one. But somehow the test series I had seen, say some institutes, I don't want to mention any institutes, but if you mention, they give a very big question, having 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines also, a paragraph is a question. Do you find that kind of questions in the civil services?
No, sir. It's not comparable.
It's
Civil
nowhere.
service is something different. Those questions we have to practice previous years to know just what to expect the pulse of UPSC.
Okay.
That's it. But these are only for our practice.
Practice.
Other mock interview.
What about time management?
Time management is necessary not only for optional, sir, for everything from prelim stage to interview. That I feel I should have done better.
Okay.
My
what do you suggest? Say, for example, time management. There are 20 questions in the general studies,
exactly.
each question having 3.5 marks, and the time is 3 hours. How would you suggest a candidate? Suppose somebody is preparing, he would come to you and ask you, give me an advice. How do I prepare time management?
I would like to say, sir, this year maybe I would have scored 20 more marks had I managed my time well.
Okay.
Because I've given more time to 10 mark questions and I've given less time to 20 marks and 15 marks. So I couldn't even give examples in those questions.
Okay.
I definitely tell we have to practice tests. We can take previous year's questions and practice those questions in time, and we have to finish. Else it will be difficult in the exam.
So the most focus should be on when you are writing test series or when you are taking a simulated examination, the focus should be on time management, or should the focus be on what is the concept of that question?
It should be
because you say that the questions that are asked by the institutes or the various institutes are not comparable to that of the UPS.
Yes, sir.
So what I would feel is that they are dilatory. They just try to take away your time rather than forcing you to apply your mind and think and write an answer. So in that manner, time management becomes more crucial. Because the paragraph is very large. Then you like to read that. There are so many columns, there are so many commas, there are so many quotations. So all these take a lot of time. So suppose in 2 and 3 hours time, you will have to answer which one you would choose, the short notes first or the long notes first.
I have taken your suggestion last time, sir. I have first written these short notes, 10 marks. Like you said, it's easier. They ask only on one issue. We can complete it soon, and we will also be awarded more marks in short questions than long questions. So that is what I have followed this time.
Okay.
I think that also worked for me this time.
Okay. Then one more thing about this, the questions and this one, the writing practice and all. See, I find that what the students basically do is that they try to show off whatever they know.
Right.
See, a candidate is preparing for the examination and he has a lot of information. And the tendency among the students or the candidates appearing is that they want to represent everything to the examiner to show that we know this much. Should that be the attitude?
No, sir. Because we will not be awarded marks just because we have written more. So we have to, that comes with answer writing practice only. Like you used to say, even before classes, that doesn't come before going to your main exam. That comes before preparing prelims only. When you are preparing your subject, you have to write answers. That is what I'll suggest other candidates also.
No. See, there is an opinion among the students that, one option is good for GS, something else is good for GS, something else is not good for GS. How do you think that there is some kind of a overlap or comfort when you are dealing with GS and PABAT?
There's a lot of overlap, sir. The reason why I haven't changed my optional, this is also one of the reasons. Because it benefits in GS2 as well as in GS4. Not only in these GS papers, it also benefits in prelims. While we are writing prelims, because our paper 2 also comprises polity. We have to study polity for prelims and GS as well. So it benefits a lot.
Now, which paper would be more relevant? Paper 2. Paper 2 would be more oriented towards your GS, is it not?
Yes, sir.
So once, let us say that if you are prepared completely thoroughly for paper 2, is it necessary that you should devote more time for GS politics section?
No, sir. GS2, I want to say in the last 3 years when I have written mains also, I haven't given separate focus on GS2.
Okay.
I have just prepared my PABAT, and with that preparation, I've given my GS2 and I've scored decently well.
Okay. Then there is another one. A candidate comes to us and asks, which option should I choose? So you had also been a candidate.
Yes, sir.
So being a candidate, how did you work out and say that I would choose for PABAT? There are several options, right? 20, 22 options are there. Among them, you said, this is not for me, this is not for me. Did you go by your background? Basically, you are engineering graduate. Being engineering graduate, did it give you an advantage to choose, or is it that you had a separate perception about PABAT?
I had this perception, sir, because then PABAT is also scoring. Then, and one more thing, what I have realized is that if we study public administration now, it will also help once we get into service, because it's all about administration, Indian Administrative Service or Indian Police Service. And also I felt I had interest in polity also. So it covers polity too. Then I realized it also helps me in GS. So that's the reason I have taken PABAT.
So there is nothing, you can say that there is nothing like a favorite subject, and some options may be helpful. Say for example, economy is there. You can have in prelims also, but economy as a mains option is very difficult. So PABAT, okay. Geography, you have some areas. History, that way you can also take that as an advantage.
And also the advantage with this art subject is that we get engineers, we get to practice answers. It also helps in GS and essay. So that helps.
No, and one more thing, your engineering mind, because you mentioned it, it tells you that you should go to the basic issue straight away. And whatever is there, you do that and come out of it. No, I think, don't you think PABAT also has that same thing, that kind of analytical ability you need?
Yes, sir. It requires more.
Yeah. So the way you are trained by your academic training would help you in getting into the PABAT. It helps you to easily understand and go about that. Nowadays we find that the optional is gaining some importance. The reason is that in general studies it is basically superficial information, whereas in the optional subject you are able to analyze the candidate's capability of analysis and go deep into a particular issue. Because in administration you need insights, and I think the optional subjects are gaining importance nowadays because insights are more necessary. What do you say?
Sure, sir, because what I have seen in the last 2-3 years is that optional is playing key. Whether in your service, getting service, rank, cadre, everything. So choosing optional wisely and preparing it well is necessary for any optional. So
you would say that any candidate who wants to appear for the civil services with public administration optional, he need not be worried.
No, not at all.
He need not be worried that I will not get good score, this is not a good optional. No. UPSC will not give marks. That kind of fears need not be there.
It has changed. In the past 2 years, it has changed.
Okay. Now, let's come to the conclusion. Would you suggest the students, candidates who are preparing for the civil services, that they can go for PABAT?
Yes, sir, definitely. Choosing an option is a personal choice, but I would recommend public administration. Generally, people, even myself, I used to fear PABAT has been not treated well by UPSC, but now the trend has changed. In the last 2 years, 2016 and 17, the scores are good. Even I have scored 295 marks. So, with efforts, we can score well even in public administration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.